The new coffee house collection of colors by Estetica, no doubt inspired by all the rich, beautiful blendings of colors going into our favorite coffee drinks. They've come out with 4 new colors. One is Americano, then they have a Toffee Latte. They have an iced mocha. And then finally what I'm wearing here, which is the Vanilla Macchiato. Colors are currently only available on 3 styles. The Estetica Orchid, the Estetica Thin, and then finally Estetica's Avalon, which I'm wearing here. And I think it was really appropriate to roll out these colors on mid to long styles, and you'll see why here when I explain the color. So each one of these new colors really does start with a nice coffee colored brown. And then that's where the fun begins, because on each one of these colors, they have a really kind of a special technique. Now I'm going based on observation. I don't really have a whole lot of information on this yet, but I noticed that the highlights are applied in just a little bit of a different kind of a technique that makes it really unique. So let's get up close on the Vanilla Macchiato. It starts with that light to medium chestnut brown color. And then in that, you'll see a lot of different things going on. So you pick up on some light sandy brown. I saw some chunkier areas with that light sandy brown. And then it has a little bit of a fine gold blonde highlight. It just gives this some richness and a little bit of a touch of warmth next to what's coming, which is all of this icy platinum highlighting. Now this platinum highlighting that you see, this is where it gets interesting and why I think it's a little bit different than some of the other coffee house colors that we have seen from other brands. The highlighting is sort of painted on. So at first when I saw this style, I'm like, oh, it has a really long root. But upon further examination, what I've realized is that that root is just the base color, okay? Because they didn't start with the highlights and things until a little farther down. Now this icy platinum, you're gonna notice is they use more of a painting on technique rather than having a stark line where all of the highlights begin, giving it the illusion of the longer root. You're actually gonna see where it's sort of painted on. So what I mean by that is we take any kind of sampling here, and it's hard for me to tell in the camera, but do you see how it's just sort of staggered on there? That's where in the real hair world, they would have stretched out this piece and just taken their brush and painted on the color. And as you get a little farther up, it's really uneven, little brush strokes there. And that gives it a lot of variation and variety. This base color can be seen throughout the style. There's a lot of it. So I think that the technique that they refer to is more, and I am not a licensed cosmetologist and I know not a lot about this, I'm just going by pure definition, but it's more of a balayage kind of a painting technique that they're using here on those highlights. So if you lift it up, you can really get a sense of that color. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of a long, dark root. However, on a longer style, there's more room for that transition to take place and all of this beauty to come forward. Now, I think that's probably why these colors are only available on the longer styles, because these styles are going to bring out the beauty of the technique and this color. So I think you can really pick out everything that we talked about. The light sandy browns, a fine light gold blonde, and lots of icy platinum highlighting. So this is a cool tone. There's no doubt this icy platinum highlighting just makes it a really cool tone, but it's not without its warm tones. So a little bit about the Avalon style. It's about 10.5 inches here in the front. The overall length you're probably going to see is around 16 to 17 inches. This particular one has a lot of that beachy wave texture to it. Some are a little more loose, but this one has gorgeous, gorgeous curls. It just has that beachy wave texture, broken spiral, separated, a bit choppy, very popular. Then Avalon does feature a lace front and a left monofilament side part. So the knots are actually fine on this lace front. You know, even though there's a darker root there, and you will see a little fine highlight brought right up to that lace front. So I think it's pretty well done for being a darker color at the lace front. I've experienced Avalon before. Now this particular Avalon seems to have a little more lift at the front than some of them. I have not done anything to this style. I just simply shook it out and put it on, and that's all I had to do. So the part was easily parted right there at the parting space. Nice illusion of scalp on the top. This one has just a moderate amount of permatease, just enough you can get a little bit of lift, but not over the top glamour. So I know a lot of you are going to have a question about this color. So when I first looked at this color, it reminded me very much of the Silver Sun RT8 by Estetica. But I have to say that I'm enjoying this even a little more. I think this will be more broadly appealing just because it has a little more warmth in it than that Silver Sun RT8. So I do have my winter sitting back here in the color Silver Sun RT8, so we can do a little bit of comparison. So here's that Silver Sun RT8. It's kind of a silverish blonde, which is basically, to me, it just looks like a sheer ash platinum, okay, as a base color. And then you'll see little glimpses of like a dark sandy blonde or light sandy brown in there. It's very soft, but it does give some dimension to the color. Not enough to warm it up though. This is really as cool as it gets. And then that is on a medium brown root. But the main body of the color has less dimension and warmth than that on the Vanilla Macchiato. So I think what I'll do is a couple of side-by-sides, one indoors and outdoors, so that you can really get a nice perspective on these two colors. So overall, this Vanilla Macchiato is a cool tone, kind of a painted on effect, gives you kind of the illusion of a very long root, but don't be surprised when you see a lot of that base color peeking through everywhere. All right, let's get busy with the comparisons. I thank you for watching today. We'll see you next time on TAZ's Wig Closet at Wig Studio 1.